The Barbette project is an open source play that would allow any artist to weave their own story with that of Barbette's. And this week, we're trying to test out that concept. What happens if 6 different artists work with the same monologue and the same exercises to create their own unique response to the material?
I'm here because I want to explore gender in performance, or gender in relation to performance, or how gender influences performance. As a non-binary person, it's affected me in a variety of different ways, sometimes liberating, sometimes not. Through performance I've found that elements of costume ring with me really well, and I relate to them, and they express part of me. So performance has in ways liberated me from nonsense that I believed in before, kind of thing.
In creating my act, I thought about layers of my identity and connecting as well with the Barbette secret, with the monologue that we all got. I wanted to work with illusion. There's a secret that we need to kind of show or not show. It's not about gender or race or class or any of those things. It's about being me. Is this part of me more masculine? This part of me feminine? This is all like potentially society just telling me what to feel.
This has been the first time in a long time that I've had real conversations about gender and presentation and stereotypes with people. It feels good to be doing this. It feels good to be here. To feel like I belong with this group of really impressive artists. I think I've been really hesitant to make work about gender and trans-related stuff and even queerness in the past, even though I want to see more queer circus in the world and I want to be part of that. I've been really hesitant to make work about that myself. I feel like I have made an act about myself. I said yesterday when we were making the kind of list of things I wanted to put in my act, one of the things on my list was vulnerability, and vulnerability about who I am. And I feel like this is definitely me going, hello, this is me.
My message, what I want to convey in my art, is that circus performers and artists come in all shapes and sizes and different forms, different abilities, and that's fine. And that's actually, it isn't comparable. You can't compare those things. We're having a shift and we need to accept the shift that is coming, the wave that is coming, and not be afraid of failure, not be afraid of things going wrong. This is circus. We're constantly playing with danger. We need to accept the faulty stuff, the odd stuff, the peculiar stuff, the queer stuff,
I'm quite happy with the start of what I've created, actually. It's a different way of working with pole for myself and exploring some different ideas that I wouldn't normally let out in my kind of pole work or pole performance. And I like that, and it's touched in something that I hope to explore more of. There's a few glances within my act, for example, which I'm very aware that the glance is me looking to an elder sibling and their reaction to something that maybe happened when I was much younger and I first was exploring my queerness. And I don't think I would have had that openness in many other spaces. This week I met some really beautiful individuals and had some really, really strong moments of connection with people who, while very different from myself, are also the same, and that has been beautiful.
I'm excited to be able to share my perspective. It's a perspective that I never got to share as a work of art, so I'm excited to be able to do that. And at the same time terrified, because I know the people who watch circus acts, and I know the judgment, and I know the high standards, because I am these people, because I watch circus and I'm critical and judgmental. So I'm happy to be offering this work that is very vulnerable to me, and with the hopes that people will take it in kindly and compassionately. To look at Barbette through a queer history lens and a circus history lens means to feel, as a queer circus person, that I am part of something bigger than myself, that I am not alone that my struggles aren't new. Somebody's been through this before, and other people will be through this after me. And so there's a sense of camaraderie, there's a sense of belonging when you look at circus history and apply it to yourself.
The artists that we've been working with are been extremely generous in sharing their inner worlds. And that's not to say that everybody who gets involved with a project like that has to go that deep. You know, it's very much up to the people involved to how they want to use their experiences and how much of their experiences they want to use, share and create. I think the subject matter is so poignant to the artists that are involved that they really want to explore, and we've tried our best to create this hold-in, safe, respectful, trustful area that allows people to feel that they can make the mistakes in their creation and that they can express and they can be artists. And artistry involves messy work. Artistry involves going through a process where you're not quite sure what's happening. And I think in this space that we've created, we've had that process, and that's just brave, really, really brave. And I'm really thankful that we've had these artists that we have to come on this journey and share as much as they want.
I hope that the Barbette project, this open source play that I've made, I hope that young artists, queer artists, circus artists feel comfortable picking it up and finding their own trajectory through it. I wouldn't know until it's out there in the world and people pick it up, which I hope they do, but this is what this R&D is about, is seeing what happens when I give this open source play to people who come from very different backgrounds and very different ways of being in circus, and letting them run with it and see what happens. And I think it's working. I think.